Hello everyone, my name is AP the Weird One, and welcome back to more Full Metal Panic. This time we're looking at Volume 8 of the light novel, Burning One Man Force. This is based off the episodes of 5 through 8. So it's the knapsack arc, and this is the cover. We get to see a lovely shot of the Gernsback that Sosuke uses, although it's in color green instead of the blue and white. And then, of course, we got a picture of Nami. Now, for the most part, this light novel is pretty... the anime is pretty faithful towards the light novel. However, I feel like what's really missing is Sosuke's inner thoughts. Like, that's the really juicy parts of it. Especially when we get around to the battles. Him breaking down the components of the M9, how they function, everything. There's his inner thoughts with Kamina, especially. Those are really important. They just offer a lot of juicy detail, and I really want to talk. I'm gonna read some passages from them. The other thing that is missing that the anime doesn't do, to my recollection, is there is a Kamina moment from the anime. I think is kind of interesting, and it definitely leans. Definitely Full Metal Panic definitely takes some inspiration from Gundam a little bit but we'll talk about that. But we have we see more of Nami, and then of course we see the actual battle, the physical battle, and then of course we see Kamina kind of in a dream state. We'll touch this on later, but yeah, this makes this it's a small, like a couple of pages, but it's worth mentioning. Anyway, one of the things you say, one of you audience members has been thinking, you've read the light novel, so obviously you knew about Mr.Lemon Light, because you mistaken him thinking that he looks like the dirty coppery form from... I remember what is it? God, I was seriously thinking about it. Oh, God. What? Let me think. Let's see. I remembered. It's the referring cop from the show Person of Interest. Like the show, but I finally remembered it. Anyway, so I obviously mistaken Lemon for that dirty cop. He obviously doesn't look like it. But, I just had bad memory, and I think volumes 10 through 12, I didn't exactly recall what he looked like. Maybe it didn't show pictures. Because... we see a couple of pictures from the light novel. I will bring that up for you. I'll show you. We see here on page 186. Look, we have Nami, and of course we have Mr.Lemon. So yeah, we do get to see it. There's some good shots in here. We do find out that while Nami did threaten Dao with a gun, he also paid a little bit of off for like drinking money. One thing to note. But I really want to talk about the big thing. So, there's also the arena fight, which, right before they go to Lemon's hotel, they actually go back to Nami's place, and Sosuke says, I'm going to stay here with you, but then, she didn't like the idea because it would be a little too uncomfortable. She felt very flirtatious, thinking something was going to happen. So, it was kind of like a little funny moment like that before they head off to the hotel. But the main thing, also you get to see Dao. He looks a lot more beaten up in this scenario, like a lot more broken teeth. But something I just want to show. The thing I really want to talk about, and it's on page 223. But ask the question caused us to consider for the first time just how he felt about her. I care for Nami, he decided, and that was probably it. He enjoyed Nami's company and make small talk with her, and Lemon was relaxing. In mornings, he found the sight of Nami trying to tying her back her hair before the head for the arena very beautiful. But why is that? The question had been eating at him for a while. It was because Nami reminded him of her. She was energetic, uncompromising, and unsparing with her criticism and mockery of Sosuke. She was carefree and invigorating. Perhaps he always had a weakness for such women. Sosuke responds, I care for her. Sosuke said monotonously. If the women who knew Sosuke heard him say so, they would probably be very be angry. But Sosuke didn't share their religious beliefs that total fidelity to a single person was a virtue. He came out of a world with no time for love and romance. The battle comrades he had before Mithral saw themselves slavers and women as harbors, welcome but interchangeable. He had kept his distance from his companions' dealings with women in that regard, but compared to the environment he had grown up in, his feelings for Chidori Kamina almost seemed like a bit too devoted. After all, the entire reason he had come here, the whole reason was fighting was for her. She was the most important thing in his life. It had nothing to do with ideas about virtue. No one forced that devotion upon him. And then, of course, then on Christmas night, Tethla asked, he cared for that Tessa then and still did, but Nami would ask him the same question now. He wasn't sure. He has a type. Tessa's not his type. He likes women like Kamina. And it's really also hard for him to remember, like we see in the light novel. Those are the parts I really like about Sosuke, and there's a little bit more during the battle. I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, just his inner monologues are so good. I love it when when you hear Sosuke's inner thoughts, they're so good. Then we have the 245. Then a strange question appeared in his head, almost like against his will. Why not cut off? Why not forget all this dangerous nonsense, accept a life of fun and freedom with Nami in Namsek? What is it? She asked. Nothing, he said, speaking to them both. Don't be stupid. Why am I thinking that after everything? Have I gone completely mad? Sosuke struggled to remember Chidori Kamina and felt a vague sense of guilt wash over him. Feeling guilt for someone he had hard to work to remember. It was a strange mental trick, but allowed him to shake off the strange urges that swept over him so suddenly. So just those moments, I really like it. And that's something that's missing from the anime. It's just Sosuke's inner thoughts. Because he does care about romance. He does like certain type of women. It's women who are on it. He has a thing for unabashedly honest women and who are just kind of very flirtatious, a lot of energy. That's what he goes for. But after the battle against the... Oh, I should mention, Kurama actually doesn't call the police chief, but they do meet at the battle arena. Sosuke battles the M9. The battle goes by very quickly, but when he gets into the city, then that's when he battles against 10 of those guys. And let's see, yeah, he battles 10 of them, and he defeats them fairly quickly. But we also get a good close up of Kurama right there. Just something like a scrawniness, I kind of really like it, and he's chewing on carrots. He's trying to kick the smoking. We've seen that. I thought like in anime they might have been like non-smoking gun, but no, it's just carrots. He just uses the carrots. But a nice really shot of that. But the other big one I really love is when Sosuke gets out of the Gurn's back, his companion. Just that action shot, the black and white is so magnificent. So that's all of that. But let's talk about right after. Let's talk about right after the battle against Kurama, after he defeats him and gets rescued by Mr.Lemon and his forces. Well, we said we have this scene. So it's been established that that whispers can basically talk to each other, and this is another incident of her like talking to each other. They're sharing their last sort of thoughts, and Nami is talking to Kami, like, hey, forgive him. They kind of met each other. It's just like letting go, and we see she's somewhere captured, and she was looking over some behemoth paperwork. But yeah, so there's just one last thought of Nami before she drifts off to the afterlife. It kind of reminds me a lot of Mobile Suit Gundam and the new types, how they could speak to each other right before they go. This seems like a lot more in depth. Like they can, it goes on for a few minutes or so they can give their one last thought. But yeah, just something to share between. And I do, it's a nice fun scene. I kind of wish it was in the anime. We saw that, we could hear voices, but no, they just kind of have to leave it off with Wraith and then the guy from Hong Kong. But I wish the scene would have been there. It'd been kind of nice, that Nami isn't angry with her and like she says, forgive Sosuke. Like, and they don't even say his name. Like, yeah, it's implied, and it's really a shame that Nami gets passed away. But it'd been kind of interesting if Sosuke was allowed to have a harem of women. I saw a preview of Tessa like coming back at 36 in the new light novels. Maybe she's part of the family or something. I don't think so, but I'd be kind of curious if the author had allowed for a harem, what would have happened. But yeah, overall, like Volume 8 is a solid novel. I really cherish the moments that Sosuke's inner thoughts just it expands on his character, something that the anime really doesn't do. It kind of makes him see if he's aloof to love or that he's just super focused about coming and doesn't have any like faults in terms of love, like he doesn't regret anything. I don't know. The anime just doesn't. We don't get to see those thoughts, and it's kind of a shame because Sosuke is a very caring person. He's still a good guy, but he has his faults, and I really like that enjoyment about it. But with that, I'll see you guys next time for for episode 9 of the anime. We'll be continuing to move on to a new arc, and that'll be also peeling into volume 9. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Hopefully you have a wonderful Thursday. I'll catch you guys next time.